Hello everyone, this is Dr. Nandi. Welcome to the YouTube channel Ecstasy of Physics. In this video, we are going to talk about the dynamics under the AP Physics 1 algebra based course, and mostly we'll be going to talk about the multiple choice questions what we have got in previous year's paper. So in this questions is given that a ball of mass m is suspended from two strings of unequal length as shown above. The magnitudes of the tensions T1 and T2 in the strings must satisfy which of the following relations. So these are the four options is given here. Now let's consider, this is the diagram. Now let's consider this one is angle theta 2 and this angle is theta 1, and so T1 and T2 are representing the two tensions along the two strings, and mg, that is the weight of the object which is exerted in downward directions, and the object it is in equilibrium conditions. So here we can define a parallel line along these directions, and this angle will also be theta 2, this angle will also be theta 1, alternate angle. And now this T2 it can be dissolved into two component, vertical component and this is a horizontal component. Similarly T1 also it can be dissolved into two component. The horizontal component of T2 in this side we can write it is T2 cosine theta 2, and this side it is T1 cosine theta 1. So now we have to find out the magnitudes of T1 and T2, which one is higher. So since it is in equilibrium conditions, that means we can say the net force on the system it will be 0 along the y and the x axis. We can define the y axis is this one and x axis is the horizontal axis. So let's consider the net force along the horizontal axis, along the horizontal direction it should be 0. So from there we can see it is T2 cosine theta 2, that is equal to T1 cosine theta 1. If you make this ratio, that T2 upon T1, that is equal to cosine of theta 1 upon cosine of theta 2. So here you can check that theta 2 it is greater than theta 1. Since theta 2 is greater than theta 1, that means from there that cosine of theta 2 it should be less than cosine of theta 1, because if you just consider the cosine graph it will be like this. So if the theta value with respect to the x-axis, if it is the theta and along the y-axis the cosine theta is represented, initially when theta equal to 0, cos theta that is equal to positive 1. Increasing theta, the cosine theta is going to decrease. So from there we can say that cosine of theta 1 that will be it will be higher than the cosine of theta 2. So from there you can just consider that cosine of theta 1 upon cosine of theta 2 it should be greater than 1, which means this ratio, the T2 upon T1 it should be greater than 1, and from there we can say it's T2 greater than T1. So the tensions in the second string it will be more than the tensions in the first string. So the options is C. A 2 kg block slides down a 30-degree incline as shown above with an accelerations of 2 meters per second square. In the first questions is given that which of the following diagrams best represents the gravitational force W and the frictional force F and the normal force N acts on the block. So here you can see in the diagram there is an inclined plane. The angle of inclinations is given as 30 degree and the 2 kg the mass which is placed on the inclined surface. So let's consider this is the diagram and the given informations are m equal to 2 kg, theta equal to 30 degree. Let's draw the free body diagram. So if you are going to draw the free body diagram, the weight which should be exerted in downward directions that can be represented as mass times gravitational acceleration, and as the object is resting on the inclined plane, so from the inclined plane one normal reaction force will be exerted on the object, and that can be represented by Fn, and so presently it's given that n. So let's consider n, its normal reaction force, and the frictional force. The object is having the acceleration in downward directions a, that's given as 2 meter per second square. which means always the frictional force exerted in the opposite directions of its motion. So the frictional force should be exerted along the inclined plane upward direction. Now you can resolve this weight into the two components. So first define our coordinate system. So coordinate system I'm considering as parallel to the inclined surface, that is our x-axis, and perpendicular to the inclined surface, that's our y-axis. So this weight, it can be resolved into two component as this angle would be theta, and the component which is along the inclined plane downward, it would be w cosine theta, and the other one parallel to the inclined plane, it will be w sine theta. Now just according to the second one, that which of the second questions, which of the following diagram best represents the gravitational force? So it is D here as per our diagram. And in case of the third one, which of the following correctly indicates the magnitudes of the forces acting up and down the incline? So along the acting down the incline, that is w sine theta. This is down the incline, and w equal to its mass times gravity. Mass is 2 kg times gravitational acceleration is 10 sine theta, and theta is given as 30 degree. So sine 30 degree here, which means 2 into 10 into half, that is equal to 10 Newton. So that is downward. And along the upward, that frictional force exerted, that we have to find out. So in that case, we can consider the Newton's second laws of motions. According to Newton's second laws of motions, net force along the x directions, or you can consider parallel to the inclined surface, that should be mass times acceleration. Now as the object, it's moving in the downward direction, so from there we can say the downward force, it will be higher as comparison to the frictional force. So from there the net force, we can write it down as w sine theta minus the frictional force, that is equal to mass time acceleration, which means the frictional force F equal to its w sine theta negative ma. W sine theta already you have computed, that is 10. Mass is, that is 2 kg, and the acceleration, that is also 2. That means we'll be getting 6 Newton. The options, it would be D. When the frictionless system shown above is accelerated by an applied force of magnitudes of tensions in the strings between the blocks is. Here we have to find out this 1 and 2 kg blocks are attached by a string. So what would be the tensions in the string, that we have to find out. So here let's draw the diagram. So here 2 kg block on which the force F exerted, there is no direct force exerted in the 1 kg block. In between 1 and 2 kg the string is connected, so whatever will be the force transmitted, so from there the tension is produced in between 1 and 2 kg block, the tension is transmitted on the 1 kg block. Since both are the blocks are connected together, so here we can consider that both block will be having the same acceleration A. Now from here, from Newton's second laws of motions, we can say acceleration, that is equal to net force exerted on the system upon that net mass. So here the force exerted, that is equal to F, and the net mass, that is 1 kg and 2 kg. So it is 1 plus 2. That means 1/3 of F. That's representing the acceleration here. Now let's draw the free body diagram. For the 2 kg block, the weight which will be exerted downward, normal reaction force upward, and along the length of the string the tensions exerted in the backward direction, and the same tensions is transmitted in the 1 kg block. So here we can put this W, this is normal reactions, tensions here. Similarly the weight exerted in the downward and normal reactions on the first block, it is upward, it is N1 and W1, and this is W2. Presently we are trying to find out the tensions T. So for that, let's consider the 1 kg block, and on the 1 kg block the upward means the vertical directional forces are going to balance each other, that W1 and the N1 are balancing each other, and the horizontal directional force, that is the tensions which is providing the accelerations in the 1 kg block, that is equal to the acceleration that is represented here, that is A. So here summation of F according to Newton's second laws of motion along the x direction equal to mass times acceleration, and the net force exerted along the horizontal direction, that is equal to T, equal to, since there is no friction, it's represented here the frictionless surface, so we don't have to consider any frictional force here. So T equal to mass is 1 and the acceleration that is already computed here 1/3 of F. If you substitute here, you'll be getting 1/3 of F. That means T equal to it's F by 3. D. The option's D. So here it is given a block of weight W is pulled along a horizontal surface at constant speed V by a force F, which acts at an angle of theta with the horizontal as shown above. The normal force exerted on the block by the surface has magnitude. So we have to find out the magnitudes of the normal force. So let's draw the diagram here. So this is the diagram which is moving with the constant speed. So constant speed means we can consider the acceleration A should be 0. Now let's draw the free body diagram. The weight it is given here, that is W, that should be exerted in downward direction, that would be W here, and the normal reaction force exerted on the object by the surface, that will be N. Now we can resolve this force which is applied at an angle theta with respect to the horizontal. It can be resolved into two components. One is the horizontal component, it should be F cosine theta, and the vertical component is F sine theta. Since the object it is in equilibrium conditions, so here we can say the net force exerted along the vertical directions, it should be 0. From there we can say the total upward force, that is N plus F sine theta. This is the total force exerted in upward directions, and that minus the force exerted in downward direction, that is equal to W, it should be 0. Now from here we can say that N equal to it's W minus F sine theta. So from here we can conclude that certain amount of component of force, applied force, which is subtracted from the weight of the object. That means the normal reaction force is definitely, it is magnitude, it is definitely less than the weight, but it should be more than 0. So the options D will be considered that greater than 0, less than W. The cart of mass 10 kg shown above moves without frictional loss on a level table. A 10 Newton force pulls on the cart horizontally to the right. So here in the diagram, a 10 Newton force exerted to the right. At the same time, a 30 Newton force acts at an angle of 60 degrees above the horizontal pulls on the cart to the left. So here the 30 Newton force exerted to the left hand side directions with respect to the horizontal, making an angle 60 degrees. Which of the following describes the manner in which this cart could be moving? Select two answers. Okay, so here this is the multiple options, make correct. Okay, so let's draw the diagram here. This is the diagram is represented. So this is the diagram is represented the 10 Newton force exerted. Now let's draw the free body diagram. So here the weight of the object, it would be downward W, and the normal reaction force, it would be upward. This 30 Newton force exerted at an angle 60 degree. So we can resolve this 30 Newton into two components. These are the components. So it would be horizontal component is 30 cosine 60 degree, and the vertical component is 30 sine 60 degree. Now since the frictional force is 0, because of there is no frictions on the surface, so we can only focus on the horizontal directions. Along the horizontal directions, the right hand side the force is 10 Newton. In the left hand side the force exerted, that is 30 times cosine 60 degree, which means 30 into cosine 60 is 0.5, that is half. So we'll be getting 15 Newton. That means there will be a net force exerted on the system, that is summation of F, which is equal to 50 Newton force to the left hand side, 10 Newton force to the right hand side, that means 5 Newton. 5 Newton force exerted to the left hand side, to the left. So that would be possible that, let's analyze the options, it will be moving left and speeding up. Yeah, that could be the answer, because if it is a 5 Newton force, resultant force exerted on the system in the left hand side direction, so it can be possible that it is moving in the left hand side with acceleration. Moving to the left, slowing down, it cannot be possible because here it is having the accelerations. Moving right and speeding up, that's also not possible because it is having the accelerations in the left hand side. In case of the right, in case of the D, the moving right and slowing down. Here it is given the moving right but slowing down. That would be also possible, since the acceleration directions, it will be always along the directions of the net force. Slowing down means it's retardation. Retardation in the right hand side means accelerations to the left hand side. So that would be also possible options. So here the multiple options correct, A and D. A ball initially moves horizontally with a velocity vi as shown above. It is then struck by a stick. After leaving the stick, the ball moves vertically with a velocity of vf, which is smaller in magnitudes than vi. Which of the following vectors best represents the directions of the average force that the stick exerts on the ball? So let's draw the diagram first. So here it is given that vi, the ball which is moving here, and it is getting struck by a stick. So let's consider this one is representing a stick with which it is getting struck, and after that it is moving along these directions with the velocity vf. So now what we have to find out, which of the following vectors best represents the directions of the average force. So average force, that can be represented by rate of change of momentum. So it's delta p upon delta t, and change of momentum, that is nothing but is mass times velocity. Change in momentum, so it's delta of mv. Now mass is independent of means it will be always conserved, so we can say m delta v upon delta t. That's basically represented by its final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken. So we can consider the vectorial form. It's f average, that is equal to mass times final velocity minus initial velocity. So here the final velocity exerted along these directions and the initial velocity, it is, we have to do the subtractions of the vector. So in that case, in which direction the vi is exerted, in the opposite directions of that we have to draw at the positions, I mean at the tail locations of the first vector. So it is vi, and this one is v negative, this is vf, and this one is negative vi. Now we have to take the resultant of this vector, and the resultant will be representing the vr here. So that will be, the change in velocity, it is represented along these directions. So here that will be the directions of the average force. But the students, you may have the confusions in between B and D. So no need to get confused. So in between B and D, they have given a certain clue in the statement that the magnitude of the initial velocity, that should be more than the final velocity. That means this side it should be longer. This initial velocity component, it should be longer, which means we have to slightly increase this part. So let's increase this section. And in that case, the net force, it would be coming by this way. So from there, you can understand the final answer, it would be P. 3 blocks of masses 3m, 2m and m are connected to strings ABC as shown above. The blocks are pulled along a rough surface by a force of magnitude F exerted by string C. The coefficient of frictions between each block and the surface is the same. Which string must be the strongest in order not to break? So here in the diagram is given the force exerted, that is equal to F on the M block, and in between 3m to 2m the string is connected A. In between 2m to m, in between two blocks, the B string is connected. Now let's consider, since all are connected by a single, means all are interconnected, so from there we can consider that all will be having the same acceleration. So it is equal to, let's say, A. Now we can find out the acceleration's value by using the Newton's second laws of motion, that net force exerted on the system upon the total mass of the system. Net force exerted, that is equal to F, and the total mass, that is 3m plus 2m plus m, that is F upon 6m. That's representing the acceleration. Now let's draw the free body diagram for individual block. In case of m, the weight exerted downward normal reaction force, that is upward, that is mg. Normal reaction force here we can consider that is equal to N1, and the tension exerted, that is equal to, it's, let's say, T1 in between the string Tm and M, and same tension is also exerted on the 2m block, so that would be T1 here, and the weight downward, normal reaction force upward, so it will be 2mg. Normal reaction force, it is N2, and the tensions, let's say it's T2, and similarly the same tensions is also transmitted along the length of the string on the 3m block, that is T2, the weight, that is 3mg downward, and the normal reaction force N3, that is upward. And one more informations, it's however they have mentioned the coefficient of frictions between the each block and the surface, it is equal to same. So here we can consider the frictional force on this block, that is let's say mu is representing the frictional force, so the frictional mu is representing the coefficient of friction. Frictional force on the third block, that is F3. On the second block the frictional force, it will be F2, and on the first block the frictional force, it would be F1. So now if you are going to consider the motions equations from Newton's second laws of motions, we can say for the 3m block, the net force exerted, that is equal to T2 minus F3, and that would be equal to mass time acceleration. So it is 3m times acceleration a, which means T2 equal to, it is F3 plus 3ma. Now for the second block, the net force, it would be T1 minus T2 minus frictional force F2, that would be mass time acceleration, that is 2m times a. So from there we can say that T1, that is equal to T2 plus F2 plus 2ma, and T2 value we have got from this previous expressions. And for the first block we can say that force, net force equal to F minus T1, that is equal to m times a, which means that F equal to, it's T1 plus ma. Now from, if you compare that all the equations, that tensions exerted T2 in between 3m to 2m, that is on the A string, in between 2m to m, means in the B strings, and on the C strings. So here easily you can compare that F should be higher than T1, since a certain amount of ma component is added with T1, and similarly that T1 is higher than, greater than T2, since with T2 certain amount of frictional force and 2ma is added, which means the maximum force that is coming, that F is the maximum force, and that is coming on the string, on the string C. So the answer, it would be the strongest, which string must be strongest? The C string must be strongest.